Prescott Academy is a prestigious public institution that trains young orphan girls to become secret agents. These young girls have never known love and have been trained to kill from the age of 3. They live without any contact with the outside world, and their instructor Artem teaches them not to form emotional attachments because it is considered a weakness for a secret agent. Nonetheless, Agent 83, the top student, Wadley, best in combat and shooting, struggles with this rule. As she grows and develops extraordinary combat abilities, she finds herself in competition with Agent 84, whose skills match her own. Agent 83 is the first in her class to be sent on a secret mission. The mission is to retrieve a briefcase from a criminal, mission she successfully completes. During another mission, Agent 83 begins to take an interest in teenage life outside the academy. She then decides to educate herself on youth culture through magazines and movies. Later, Armand tasks the girls with capturing Victoria Knox, a notorious American arms dealer. Initially, Agent 84 volunteers for the mission to prove who is the best, but Armand chooses Agent 83 despite catching them reading magazines. Meanwhile, Victoria and her henchmen are at a construction site in Techen. In order to take Victoria by surprise, Agent 83 disguises herself as a prisoner. When her true identity is revealed, she quickly attacks Victoria and neutralizes all of her henchmen. She then clings with Victoria to Artem's jet in flight. Unfortunately, Victoria has a gun on her and shoots Agent 83, forcing her to cut off her harness and throw herself into the river below. Victoria is eventually captured and meets with Ardent, but he notices Agent 83's absence. Meanwhile, Agent 83 swims to safety and boldly attempts to contact her via the device she wears on her wrist. However, she decides not to respond Osman, knowing that it is her only chance to escape her old life, so she throws the device into the water and begins her new life. In the jet, Agent 84 Ardent reports that they are not receiving any video or audio signals from Agent 83, which Ardent is reported missing and inactive. Soon after, Agent 83 creates a new identity for herself and takes the name Megan, posing as a Canadian student who has moved to Newton and is now living with the Larson family. Mrs. Larson and her son by heart are very kind to Megan, while her other daughter Lise is cold and distant. During dinner, Megan learns that Mrs. Larson has divorced her husband. She also forms a closer bond with Parker, who is obsessed with becoming a ninja. For her part, Liz finds it odd that Megan gets excited about mundane things like riding the school bus. After dinner, Megan thinks about what to wear on her first day of school, but she ends up attracting all the attention and being made fun of by the other students the next day. Seeing this, Lisa, despite being reluctant, lends her less flashy clothes. At the first assembly, Megan waits to be introduced as a new foreign student. She also befriends a geeky boy named Roger, who works as a technician. Finally, the time comes for Megan to take the stage. However, one of the bullies, Gooch, immediately makes fun of her, followed by the crowd. Luckily, Quiche, the most popular student and leader of a music group, comes to her rescue. He sings her a song, and Megan is immediately drawn to his charming gaze. During lunch break, Megan declines the cheerleaders' invitation to sit with her, thinking they are just as unpleasant as in the movies. During her first class, Megan finds Roger and sits next to him. Although Roger seems attracted to her, Megan does not share his feelings. After class, the teacher announces that the next day, the students will have to sit with their designated partners during the lab class. As Megan leaves the classroom, Gooch tries to grope her, but she incapacitates him. Later that night, Megan uses her stealth skills to infiltrate the lab and change the seating arrangements, ensuring that she is paired with KH. She manages to complete this operation quickly without being spotted by the guards. The next morning, Megan sits next to Kesh but finds herself face-to-face with Cindy and Donna, who also have crushes on the popular boy. Unfortunately, the teacher is unlucky to be her lab assistant. After class, Cindy and Donna trick Megan into thinking that Quiche likes the girls who are the school mascot. Determined to win the boy's heart, Megan trains hard and attends the auditions for the role of mascot. She is the only candidate and lands the job. At the contest, Megan wore a Viking costume and cheered for her school. However, during the ceremony, masked men try to kidnap her. Thinking they are agents sent by Ardement, Megan easily outwit them, but she quickly discovers that they are just students from a rival school trying to kidnap the mascot as per tradition. Fooled by Cindy and Donna, Megan quickly runs off. Roger pursued her and tried to comfort her, but in vain. Megan becomes famous. When her video goes viral, everyone at school cheers for her, including Kesh, who invites her to an after-school jam session. Upon arriving, she runs into Roger, and they exchange a few words until Keish arrives. While talking to Keish Parr, Megan realizes that she is uncomfortable around him, but she still accepts his invitation to G's party that is scheduled for the weekend. On the way home, Megan is arrested by a Prescott agent and taken to Hardman. He assumes that she is collaborating with their enemies, but she reveals that she simply wants to enjoy a normal life outside of the academy. Hearing this, Hardman decides to let her go, but with a warning. She must say goodbye to Newton and return after Scott as Jean 83. Later, she is dropped off on the terrace of the Larson house by Hardman's men. Elise and Parker try to help her. The next morning, when Megay sees Roger, she invites him to Gooch's party, but he declines because of his overprotective father. Before going to the party, Mrs. Larson asks Lise to accompany Megan to ensure her safety. The two finally arrive at the party where Megan is surprised to see that Agent 84 is also present, introducing herself as Ir. Megan assumes that Hardemand sent Ir to follow her, but the young girl refuses. Meanwhile, Lisa enters the bathroom and meets Gooch drunk. She ends up getting drunk herself and starts flirting with him. Ir, knowing that Megan is attracted to Kay, tries to seduce the boy to annoy him, but Megan manages to get Kesh's attention and is invited to the prom. At one point, Roger arrives at the party looking for Megan, but is disappointed that Kesh kissed her. The next morning, Megan boards a school bus and discovers Harmon disguised as the driver. He warns her that Victoria has run away from the academy and plans to get revenge on her, but Megan insists on not going after Scott. Later, Lisa accompanies Megan to school, but they are pursued by a masked killer. Megan quickly takes control of the car and inevitably ends up revealing her secret to Lise. They end up crashing into a junkyard and the killer manages to escape. But Megan is the killer thanks to her perfume. Fortunately, Lise survives the accident and is hospitalized. When the girl wakes up, Megan apologizes for lying to her and putting her in danger. She wants to leave the family before too many people get hurt because of her. However, Lisa doesn't want her to leave, saying that abandoning her family would be even worse for them. From that moment on, the two girls grow closer and help each other prepare for this special evening. They have come to be picked up by their respective dates for the prom. Once there, Liz dances with G while Megan chats with Kay. However, Megan gets bored with Keish because he talks to her about her pain. So she decides to reconcile with Roger, but to her surprise, he rejects her. Ezer arrives unexpectedly and reveals himself to be Roger's date, which sparks an argument between her and Megan. The two girls meet in the kitchen. Weir reveals that she joined Victoria's organization for the chance to kill Megan. Luckily, Lisa manages to surprise Ir and stab her in the leg. After leaving Ir, the two girls run back home and Megan neutralizes the guards. She then discovers that Victoria and her spears have taken Mrs. Larson and Hart hostage. Victoria reveals that she was Prescott's #1 agent, but left the organization and turned on them for stealing her life. Shortly after, one of these henchmen takes Lise hostage. Megan surrenders and drops her weapon, but she then challenges Victoria to a fair fight that Megan easily wins. At one point, Victoria pulls out a gun and points it at Megan. Luckily, Parker throws a stun grenade, giving Ardement time to intervene with reinforcements. The two skillfully neutralize Victoria and her henchmen. Megan rarely hugs him and thanks him for his help. Hardiment finally allows her to live with the Larsons as an undercover agent. Megan then uses a Prescott helicopter to join Roger as he drives home with his father. She confesses her feelings for him, and the two finally kiss before joining Lisich in the helicopter. In a post-credits scene, Ezra meets with a former henchman of Victoria and orders him to find out which university Megan will attend.